Morning! Guess who made a tea an hour ago and never drank it? It's your girl. It's me. Goodness. Okay, I'm going to use this orange 3, 4, 7 Jazzy. And we're going to do the leaves of this big flower. Okay, now we're going to use the buttonhole stitch to do these here. So I'm going to use probably 3 or 4 strands. I'm going to see real quick which one looks better to me. And we're just going to get started. We're just going to do it. Now, the buttonhole stitch works in almost like L's. Okay. Okay, so it works in like L's. Let me get the other one. Okay, so you're gonna go up here, and then up here, and then up here, and then up here, up here, tack. Up here, almost like tack. Okay, so almost like upside down L's. We're going to fill up the shape until we can't fill it up anymore. And then when we're all done, we're going to tack it. So let's get started. Now I could just do all 6 strands, but I kind of want to put them closer together and not have so much white space for this one. I'm going to do 4 strands. Come on, separate. There's the 2. I can use that later if I save it and then use the next length that I need. As a guide, and then I can take the 2 strands and 2 strands and put them together to make 4. So I've just got the 4 strands here. I'm going to do a little knot on the back. So the buttonhole stitch or the blanket stitch, I feel like they're the same, very similar. I think they're just used in a little bit different ways. One being like for a buttonhole, and one probably being for the outside of a blanket, or like a border or something like that. Summit. Okay. Now we want to have like a nice curve around here and not so much like boom straight up. All right. So I'm going to start my first one. Sorry, I thought my tea was going to fall off, but it wasn't. Instead of going all the way straight up here, okay, I'm going to start my first one kind of over here. So remember with the buttonhole stitch, you're going to come up and then straight back down where you want your next stitch to be. So these here are going to be kind of like a fan almost. So pull it through, and then wherever you put this right here is where your line is going to be. So if I put it here, it's going to go straight up and straight down. Yeah? So I'm going to put it over here so that it will actually make the outline of my petal. Now this is a very severe buttonhole stitch. So the next one's going to go right down next to it. And then up. Yeah, now you can put these really, really close together if you want to see no white space at the top. I don't really mind seeing the white space. A little bit, you know, I just don't want it to be like 2 stitches and we're done. Uh-oh. Somehow I was holding the loop, but also holding the needle, but the needle wasn't actually, the thread wasn't on the needle. Confusing. Shell says, I love the look of this. We'll see. This one's a little bit tricky because of the way you have to start, and you have to kind of start, if you want to have a nice shape, you have to start in a bit of an odd way, okay? Now, I could have done it a little bit more, instead of straight up, I could have made it like sideways, you know, and done the buttonhole like around the whole thing, like sideways. Does that make any sense? So all the threads would be originating from the middle coming up, but because petals don't really look like that, I'm gonna do it like this. Hi, what's the name of the stitch? I just missed the beginning. It's the buttonhole or the blanket stitch. I think it looks like a shell. Now again, how you end it is you're going to do a little tacking stitch at the very, very bottom. Now obviously you could just keep going, like keep going around and not make them separate. But I kind of want them to be separate little leaves, petals. Okay, so I'm happy with that. Obviously, like I said, I could just keep going. Yeah. And do one. Do you know what I mean? So here, I'll just show it. Because as long as you can continue with the button stitch, with the blanket stitch, I made my thread too long. Did you know that? Then technically you can just continue. Now, I quite like tacking them down and starting a new petal, but this can work too. So you just have to think almost as if trying to make pancakes at the same time as watching. Do you know what, Jamie? I actually ate so much bun steak yesterday that I couldn't even make waffles in the end. Oh, ridiculous. So you almost kind of have to think as you're doing these lines, okay? You want all of the lines to kind of be coming out from the middle. So you don't want to be in a situation where you're like this. Will it look okay? Yeah, it probably will. But for this one, I'm trying to keep all of my stitches facing the middle so that I don't end up with like a sideways situation. So all of them almost like pretend that you have lines that go down right into the middle, and that's where your stitches should be. Now, if you have a couple that need to be a little bit off or anything like that, like these ones are not necessarily right to the middle, but the next ones that come in will be. So hopefully we can continue. Oh, it's raining and David took Jessie out. At least it's a sunny rain, right? Okay, so let's turn it some more. Now, there's lots of things you can do to this after 4. We're using four strands. There's lots of things you can do to this afterwards, meaning that you can fill in each of these with straight stitches. Or like satin stitches that go all the way, you know? Jamie T says, oh no, we had crepe pancakes last night and they made me feel sick, so I'm trying to make American style for the first this morning. Oh, I've got a banging recipe for American style pancakes. Oh, guys, sorry. Let me just stick this up and then I will put it back on. Hold on. Sorry. Is this a stitch that you fill in? So no, normally just with the buttonhole stitch, this is the stitch. That's it. But what I'm saying is that you can fill it in if you want to fill it in. If you don't like seeing the fabric through, which is what I was saying, is that if you don't like seeing the fabric through and you'd rather have a more filled in flower, then you can fill it in with any of the ways that I've said. I hate stitching upside down. Now that could be even just doing some straight stitches in the same color that go like to there so that you fill the middle in, but the outside looks a little bit more airy. That's up to you, however you would like to do it. Good thing we just gave Jessie a bath the other day, right? She hated it so much. Not as much as my Cooper, but I think I can do one more. Maybe not. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. Yeah, our dog at home, Cooper, you even say, do you want to take a bath? And he like runs the other way. He like runs as far away and hides in the corner. He's like, nope. Not for me. Not interested. We always take treats and stuff in there for Jessie, so she kind of thinks it's like a spa day. You know, like, oh my gosh, this is so fun. I get to like have a bunch of treats in the bathtub. Basically me at the end of the night. You know, like when you take your wine in the bathtub and you like have a little snack and like get yourself all set up with the television. Take my laptop in there and everything. A little spa day. If you haven't done it, I highly recommend it, okay? I highly recommend it. I don't know what it is about stitching upside down that makes me feel so backwards. Like, I genuinely, for a second, just thought, I don't even know where to put this next stitch. I have a really bright red. I feel like if I did like 3 strands of this really bright red and did little straight stitches in each one, that would be... I don't have a bathtub at home. So sad. Oh, in my first 2 apartments in Shanghai, I didn't have a bath. And then my third one, I had a bath, and then the fourth one I didn't, and I was just begging them all the time, Like, do you think we could put a bath in? Think we could put a bath in now? How about now? Hold on, I'm gonna see if that's him. Nope. Because we have the watches, you know, the Apple Watch, and they get like synced together. So if he finishes a workout, it'll tell me like that David has finished a workout. And sometimes he'll like finish the workout, but stay, come on, but like stay outside for a little bit because he knows that I'm like still, you did it. Because he knows that I'm still with you guys. And it makes a lot of noise. I was going to say, because it's raining, just come in. Like, don't. This is the buttonhole or blanket stitch. 4 strands, and that's it. I'm almost out of thread. I feel like I might not be able to make it. Come on, please. 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 Okay, so what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to do my very last tacking stitch and make it like that to hold it and then be done. Okay? I tried this the other day and wasn't very good, so I'm glad I get more practice. Oh, I'm glad too. It is really, the back looks so good, doesn't it? It is really tricky because it kind of messes with your mind a little bit, but you always have to think like for this one, because it's around here, your second stitch is always going to be down here. So like, even though like I always want to put the next stitch like at the very top, do you know what I'm trying to say? Because it's, you come up through the back and then down and you make the loop. So I always want to come up through the back and then come down up here and make a loop like going that way. And that's not the way to do it. So you always come up from the back and then come down around the circle. So if you can get that into your head, then maybe, at least that's my big problem with this one, is that I always get a bit lost. I'm like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing here. Where am I supposed to go next? Especially when I start a new petal. That's why the first time I ever did it, I just finished each petal and started a new one, like did a little tacking stitch and then started it again. Just because I felt like I was a little bit like, I don't know what to do here. So what I'm thinking is maybe I could do three strands of this red with like a little straight stitch, like 3/4 of the way up, then it might just give a little bit of like oomph to it. We'll see. It's a really bright red though. This is 9046. And it is like bright red. Yeah, if you want to draw the lines, then totally do that. Because sometimes I feel like that's the other thing, like with this one, you know? Like I didn't put them facing down in the middle. So your second stitch always is around the center here. If you need to draw the lines, then definitely do that. Okay, so what I'm thinking here is if I do just like a little in between, why'd you always ruin my life, huh? These stupid little knots. It's because I have too much thread. Miriam says, I just tried one petal and it's really messing with my sleepy brain. I might redo with guidelines. Yeah, I'm telling you, this when it's around something that's curved, it really makes me feel like where do I go next? Like, I don't know. So it is a little bit tricky, but I feel like we can do it. What do we think with a little bit of red just in the middle? I feel like maybe it looks a little bit weird. It's not the whole way, but maybe if I did all of it, you know? Maybe if I do half and then I can put my fingers there and you can see what it looks like. Love it. People are saying they like it. It's just an idea. You don't have to do it. So today's just the buttonhole stitch 4 strands. And then all I'm doing is doing a straight stitch in between each of the empty spaces. But I'm not doing it all the way. I'm just doing it like 3/4 of the way. And then I've got 3 strands for this. 4 strands for the buttonhole and 3 strands for this one. Kind of like that it doesn't go all the way though. Like it doesn't like take the attention away from the buttonhole stitch at the top. But again, this is all just whatever you feel like doing. If you want to do it, then do it. And if not, don't. Totally fine. Now with this one, I'm not trying to cover up the orange. I'm just trying to put it in between. So that's why you can see me with my needle following it down like that. Yeah. Everyday stitch is my new favorite. Oh my God, you're so sweet. I think that's why everyone always says, like, what's your favorite stitch? And I just couldn't tell you because sometimes you just use them in a different way. And you're like, actually, I really like that. That's really fun. And then it depends on what mood you're in as well. Like, sometimes you're just not in the mood to make something faffy, you know? So if you have to, like, really concentrate about, like, where to put the stitches or whatever, then some days you're just like, oh, I just don't feel like it, do I? I just want something nice and easy, relaxing, and maybe that's not it for you. So now for these straight stitches, I'm just making them a little bit, don't play with me today. I'm just making them a little bit shorter where it goes down like this so that the red flower will also look like it's got an outline almost, but not. So you can kind of tell that the red is also like curved because the stitches get longer at like the peak of the petal and then shorter when it goes down in a dip. I didn't realize that was so far out, sorry. Only a few more to go. But yeah, that's pretty much it for today. Make sure that you're liking and commenting on some posts in the hashtag if you have some time today. I'm telling you, it means so much. And I get so many people saying that they love your guys' hoops when you post them in your stories and then I repost them. Like so many people are like, oh my gosh, this one's my favorite. Or, oh, I love seeing the progress on these. I love reposting them. was telling David, I was like, if I have anything important to say, they're never going to find it because it's just a repost of people's stitch-alongs because I'm so proud of everyone. Yeah, this one here is going to bother me, but the way that I did it, I can't take it out. So you're just going to have to live in my brain. Can you see our posts and stories if we have a private account? Nope, I can't. So if you have a private account, you're going to have to DM me your pictures or posts or whatever. Okay, so let me zoom out and you can have a little look. And there we go. That's it for today. 9046. So I hope you liked it. I think it's super fun. And it looks a little different to all the other flowers that we've done so far, you know? So yeah, make sure that if you post in your stories, then you tag me at the Barmy Fox with the line underneath and use the hashtag the Barmy Fox SAL. I think that petal just looks like it's overlapping a bit. Quite cool, actually. Okay, good. Because all the other ones look like they're all facing inwards, and then there's just this one that's like, meh. All right, so I hope you enjoy. I cannot wait to see your buttonhole stitch, because I know YouTube is going to do me dirty on that for sure. Oh, that's going to be awful. But yeah, I hope you laugh. So have a great day, and I'll talk with you tomorrow. All right, bye.